The development of India's nuclear program, leading up to its first nuclear test in 1974, was marked by a series of strategic decisions, geopolitical challenges, and scientific efforts. This explainer video brings you events that illustrate this journey. 1. Early advocacy for disarmament and changing geopolitical landscape. India was initially a strong advocate for nuclear disarmament. After the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, leaders like Mahatma Gandhi condemned nuclear weapons as a sinful and diabolical use of science, and Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru voiced concerns about the atomic bomb's destructive potential, especially for Asian countries. Despite India's disarmament stance, the geopolitical reality began to change during the 1960s. The 1962 Sino-Indian War and China's nuclear test in 1964 heightened India's security concerns. After China's successful test, factions within India, including Dr. Homi Bhabha, began pushing for a nuclear weapon as a deterrent, although there was still internal debate about pursuing nuclear arms. 2. Strategic use of India's thorium reserves. India has significant thorium reserves but limited uranium. Recognizing this, Bhabha developed a three-step nuclear program to utilize thorium as a long-term energy resource. The plan involved using natural uranium reactors to produce plutonium, which would then be used in reactors fueled by thorium to create uranium-233, a fissile material. This strategy aimed to establish an independent and sustainable nuclear fuel cycle. Bhabha's plan addressed India's desire for nuclear self-sufficiency and provided the option to produce weapons-grade plutonium. This dual-purpose approach allowed India to pursue civilian nuclear energy while maintaining the capability to develop nuclear weapons if needed. 3. International partnerships and technology acquisition. In the early years, India sought partnerships to gain nuclear technology. For example, India reached an agreement with Canada in 1956 to build the Cyrus reactor, which was completed by 1960. This reactor, designed to produce large amounts of plutonium, played a crucial role in India's ability to eventually develop nuclear weapons. The United States also supplied heavy water for the project under the Atoms for Peace initiative. Another example is the 1950s collaboration with France to build a monazite processing plant for extracting thorium. Although such efforts had limited immediate benefits, they laid the groundwork for India's nuclear capabilities. 4. Internal opposition and criticism. The Indian astrophysicist Meghnad Saha, a prominent critic of the Atomic Energy Commission, AEC, questioned the program's transparency and criticized its slow progress. He argued in Parliament that the promised nuclear reactor had not been built even by 1954, despite initial announcements in 1948. This criticism pressured the AEC to show tangible progress, resulting in a more determined pursuit of nuclear technology acquisition and development. 5. The impact of the Sino-Indian War and subsequent developments. The 1962 Sino-Indian War was a significant turning point that influenced India's nuclear ambitions. Following the war, the Indian military budget doubled, and support for nuclear development increased. The war made it evident that India needed to strengthen its defense capabilities to prevent future humiliations. The nuclear debate intensified after China's 1964 nuclear test. Bhabha claimed that India could develop a bomb within 18 months if it decided to do so, although Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri remained cautious, prioritizing domestic issues like food shortages over the development of nuclear weapons. 6. The path to the 1974 nuclear test, Operation Smiling Buddha. After the Indo-Pakistani War of 1965 and China's nuclear threats, the Indian government took steps to keep its nuclear options open. The development of the plutonium reprocessing plant at Trombi, Phoenix Project, and continued work at the Bhabha Atomic Research Center, BRC, ensured that India had the technical capability to produce a bomb when necessary. The political environment shifted after Indira Gandhi came to power in 1966, and nuclear policy took on a dual approach. Under Gandhi, efforts were made to push forward with the peaceful nuclear explosion concept, which was used to justify the test while signaling India's growing nuclear capabilities. The first test took place on May 18, 1974, in the Thar Desert, under the code name Operation Smiling Buddha. The test was described as a peaceful nuclear explosion, following global trends at the time by the US and Soviet Union, who also conducted tests for non-military purposes. 7. International reactions and consequences. The 1974 test triggered significant international backlash, especially from Canada, which had supplied the Cyrus reactor under peaceful usage agreements. The test led to stricter non-proliferation efforts worldwide, including the formation of the Nuclear Suppliers Group, NSG, to control the export of materials that could aid in nuclear weapons development. Despite the claim of the test being for peaceful purposes, India's detonation marked a pivotal moment in nuclear history, as it demonstrated that civilian nuclear technology could be used for military purposes. This realization influenced global non-proliferation policies and India's future trajectory toward developing a full-fledged nuclear arsenal. If you like this video, please encourage our team by clicking like button and subscribe our channel. This will motivate us to make more such videos.